Good morning, Forest Park. Today is January 22nd, 2025. I'm Don Jones. I'm the city manager here in the city of Forest Park. Welcome to our show, Off the Cuff. This is the first show of our new year, so welcome back to everyone. We're going to switch up the format a little bit this year. We're going to try and get more of our department heads and some of our city employees to come and talk about some of the things that they're doing and the services they provide to the citizens. And we're going to start out with our very timely Public Works Director and City Engineer, Scott Falkowski, who's here with us today. Very timely since they've just finished all of these great or terrible winter storms we've just had, depending on your point of view. But Scott, again, is in charge of our Public Works Department, and they did a very good job of dealing with these storms. So welcome, Scott.
Thank you, and I appreciate you having me on. What we have here first is we've had two major snowstorms just within the past couple of weeks. So I want to give a little bit of information about how we go through plowing the streets and getting to everybody. Our goal is to make sure we have somebody on the street 24/7. So when the event starts, we have two shifts. We have two 12-hour shifts. We have people in the trucks. If we can, before an event, if we know it's coming, we'll pre-treat the streets a little bit. We'll put down some brine or some salt down on the streets. Mainly, we'll try to hit the main streets and the bridges and overpasses because they do freeze over first. And then also the areas with the big hills that people are going to be driving on, that'll be a little more slick.
We had a great, you mentioned that you're running 12-hour shifts. You took everybody, basically, it was all hands on deck for our Public Works Department.
Yes,
everybody was there.
Called in everybody for those first two storms since we did know they were coming. Had a schedule set. We ended up having them for basically on the first event 3 days straight going out, hitting the main streets first, but then within 24 hours we try to get to every street to at least have some bout of plowing. We can't always get all of the snow off on the first try, but we'll come back as the snow ends and get into the streets and try to get more to the curbs and also into the cul-de-sacs to push things back a little better.
Yeah, that was it was a tremendous amount of snow. It was probably it's the worst I can remember over the last several years. Do we have any stats on some of the money that we might have spent or some of the salt that we put down, the hours, the time? Can you give us a little information about that?
Sure. For the first event, basically, like I said, we had about 3 days worth of time. We spread 266 tons of salt and over 2,500 gallons of salt brine. So that in itself, just on that first event, was more than we did all of last year.
That's amazing. We used more on this first event than we used the entire year last year?
Yes. So we got about 11 or 12 inches of snow on the first event and then 3 to 4 inches on the second event, which also, we haven't seen that kind of snowfall in many years.
Yeah. I can't remember the last time it was that bad. So that's incredible. I want to thank again all those folks that in the Public Works Department. Again, they were working. Someone was on the street 24/7 for 3 straight days while this event was ongoing. And then the follow-up to that was the next event. So over a 2-week period, not a lot of rest for our Public Works Department.
No, and we did receive a lot of phone calls from the public, in which we do want to hear about certain areas and where some of the problem areas were. One thing that we noticed during this storm and what we would like the public to know is when you see the snow coming, please move your cars off the streets. When we try to get as close to the curb as possible, and sometimes having to go around cars makes it harder to get the whole street and then get into where some of the driveways are, where the trash pickup will be, and also for the mail personnel to be able to deliver your mail, to be able to get to your mailboxes. We need to try to clear those areas to be able to get in there as soon as possible.
Yeah, that was important. And again, that's probably the most important thing that a citizen can do to help us out, is to get their cars off the street, because we end up plowing the cars in and they have to then dig them out and have to go around them, and there's no place to put the snow, particularly in a cul-de-sac. I mean, that's probably our hardest part. We're a city full of cul-de-sacs, you know, so it's a tough place to get those plows down through those cul-de-sacs.
Every cul-de-sac's a little bit different, but what we look at is where are the fire hydrants, making sure those are clear in case there's an emergency there. also people's driveways and their mailboxes. So if there's extra cars there as well, that makes it tougher to be able to push that snow because we have to push it somewhere.
Yeah, everybody, just get them off the street before it starts. We can get down there, we can plow that street, and that'll make it a lot better for everyone, make it more efficient too. We can go faster, and it's just a better outcome if everybody can get their cars off the street as best they can. Pile them up in those driveways. Everybody's got a driveway, and get those cars off the street. So that's one of the things we would ask for our citizens to take away from this. Also, we talked about this being basically, we use as much resources this year as we did in the entire year last year. How are we doing in terms of resources for the next snow? Plenty of salt, plenty of how the truck's holding up. Everything pretty good?
And so we just received our yearly salt allocation just within the past month.
Okay.
So we had both of our salt barns almost to capacity.
And we're
before this
unique.
storm.
For a lot of the cities around here only have one salt barn. We have two, and we fill those things up. So we're still pretty good in terms of capacity.
Yes, so we did use a lot of salt, but we do have plenty more in case there's other storms within this year, and we have plenty to plan for the next years.
That's great. That's great. That's one of the things that we've been able to, again, in terms of planning for these storms, be able to have that excess amount of salt and supplies that we can store them and keep them, buy them when they're cheap, and store them and keep them in place here for the city. Also, as part of your duties as Public Works Director, you're also over the Recreation Department and also the Parks Department. So we've got a lot of good things going on in our Parks Department. We've got a lot of things going on in our Recreation Department and also our Senior Center. That's part of our Parks Department and our Recreation Department as well. So give us a little bit of information about some of the things that are upcoming, because even though it's 0 degrees right now, spring's right around the corner.
So sign-ups are underway for spring sports, whether it's baseball, softball, t-ball, spring soccer. You can sign up online. We are doing everything online now, so you can sign up and you can pay everything without having to come in. But if you are having trouble, give us a call or come in and we can help walk you through the process. We want to make sure every child has an opportunity to play sports in our community.
And also, if you have, if you're a parent or if you're just want to volunteer, if you want to help out, we're still looking for coaches all the time and volunteers to help run our leagues and just make our programs a lot better. So if you're interested in that, come on out, give us a call, and we'll try and get you involved in our Forest Park Recreation things. Also, you've got a lot of park events coming up as well.
Yes, we're finalizing the schedules. Every year we have parties in the park and movie nights and the Jazz in the Park event, which is bigger and better every single year. Upcoming, the first thing coming up next is we have Black History Month coming up next month.
That'll be coming up,
So
yep.
look forward to some events there. There is a very well done children's play program that we're bringing to the Senior Center. We'll have all that information out on our Facebook page, website, social media sites, and get the word out. It's a very informative and entertaining.
It sounds like it's going to be a great spring, great summer. Lots of good events going on. Had a lot of good feedback last year about not only the number of events but the quality of the events. They were well attended. So your staff has done a great job in getting the word out and planning these events. And it looks like we're hitting the mark in terms of what people want to do because they're attending them. So I think that's really good. And again, they're starting up. It's 0 degrees today. It's going to get colder, but spring's right around the corner. And Scott, thanks for coming today. We appreciate you showing up here and giving us your time and give us a little information out to the public. Again, if anybody wants more information, again, give us a call. We're more than happy to talk to the public and keep them informed. But as you noted, follow us on our Facebook page, follow us on social media, follow us on our website and our newsletter. Sign up for that newsletter. And that's the best place to get the most current information and the fastest information. So again, we hope everybody stays safe, stay warm, and we'll be talking to you at our next show.